Well, we got to get to tax reform, guys. A recent poll shows 42% of Americans approve of how President Trump is handling the economy. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and NBC News. This comes as the employment rate remains at 4.1%, a 17-year low. President Trump works to reform the nation's tax code as well.
We're on the verge of passing that wonderful, beautiful tax cut. It's the biggest in the history of our country. It doubles the amount of income taxed at the rate of zero. It lowers tax rate. It expands the child, you know that, the child tax credit so broadly. It provides relief from the estate tax, also known as the death tax.
Currently, House and Senate Republicans are working to resolve the differences in their tax bills in an effort to pass the final version by Christmas. Okay, let's get into this here. We mentioned this story earlier in the Journal that there, in the Senate plan, it looks like there is a rate of 100% on earnings. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. You're a business guy, Mike. Your take on this tax plan?
I hope it's as being promised, but I don't know that it is. I think for higher earners or people in the top tax brackets, this is not, contrary to what the president's saying, I don't see it as a major tax cut. I know people in California, New York, the SALT states, it's actually a tax hike.
Right.
So I think the part where we take taxes on businesses down to 20% is a win for the entire United States economy. I think that money won't just go in the pockets of executives. I think it will go to hiring and to building businesses in the country. But I think if it's an overall tax cut, then everybody's taxes should go down. And I don't know that that's been proven as of yet.
One of the problems, Dagan, is the Congress, I'm talking about the Senate and the House, by the way, their constant efforts to make sure that the highest earners do not get any relief. They are jumping through hoops so that the highest earners do not get any tax relief. And you know what? It's ridiculous. And we have talked about this a lot on this program. The top 10% earners pay 71% of the taxes, and the top 10% of earners spend more than the bottom 60%. And let's not forget that consumer spending is 2/3 of the economy.
Right. And based on the analysis done by the Wall Street Journal and other tax foundations, that in some small circumstances, a small slice of households with very particular specific circumstances would face marginal tax rates, not just of 100%, but more than 100%. Do you want to talk about the idiocy and the insanity of asking, if you earn $1, then you need to pay $1.08 in taxes on that very dollar? The Journal runs through scenarios, and not to wade into the morass that this tax plan is. But say if it's a New Jersey lawyer, 3 kids, married, makes $615,000 a year. If his spouse goes out to get a job, the first $100 of the spouse's wages would require paying in New Jersey $100 would require $100 and almost $8 in taxes. And it's the same math in California and New York City. So explain how they're going to fix that. But again, it's because you got to make wealthier people pay more. You're not allowed to cut taxes on the wealthy. Right. This is born out of playing into the logic and falling into the trap that the Democrats have set for you in terms of class warfare.
We said this from the get-go. Earlier in this year, the one word I kept using, bully. They are getting bullied by the talking points of the left. And as we go into the 11th hour here, in terms of seeing this tax plan actually materialize and get to the president's desk, the evidence is they got bullied.
This is a disincentive to work, which is the complete opposite of what Republicans are supposed to do with the tax code. It actually, rather than reforming the tax code, it complicates it above and beyond of where it already is.
I have confidence that the House is going to fix this. I have confidence that the House is going to fix this. I think they get it.
Well, the House also has to fix that bubble rate that's still in there.
Well, that's true. They had the genius ideas of a border adjustment tax and then the bubble rate of 46%. So
it's become too politicized. But I think for people like us who live in New York or live in California, it's not just simply pick your family up and move somewhere else or take your job and live somewhere else. So the fact that we no longer get the state and local tax deduction is a real thing. You can't, if everyone could just jump up and move to Florida or move to Texas, I guess maybe we would, but it's not that simple. So we can't just say to our governor or our mayor, tax us less.
See, I understand the move to eliminate the SALT deduction because it isn't fair. And some of these governors and mayors do hide behind it. They hide behind it. They say, oh, let me keep tax rates all the way up here because they're going to deduct it. So but if that's the case, you need to lower the top rate.
Yes.
You need to lower the top rate. And if you're talking about a 100% rate in the Senate plan, it's indicative that they don't understand. They don't know what's going on.
Well, this is evidence, and watch the markets react to this. This seems to be some evidence that the economic impact of these plans as they're written might not be as great as some people are expecting.
You're right. And so that means markets, everything that has happened this year, will revert back.
I think what's helping the markets is the 20% corporate tax because a business that's trading in the market is now keeping more of the $1 it earns. So as long as we get that, I think the markets won't have a major sell.
What if it's 22%?
I don't think it impacts it at all.
I don't think so either because something's got to give if you're going to take down the top rate.
Give and take. Negotiation.
Okay, we're going to take